Going live. Am I live? I'm live, okay. Happy Easter, everyone. Skål. I exchanged my older flower for this. Let's see, who's with us? Sick is with us. Noble Carl. Normal Citizen. Arfalk. Viking 1. Happy Easter. He's had a strange week. Okay. Me too. Greg is with us. Rabbit Squirrel. Oh, well, convenient name for the occasion. Conrad G. Enrique. Henrik Johansson. Mika Oy. C-Storm. Not a tool. Alfred. Skål. Yet again. Right, so it's Easter, which means that there's some extra days for some pew pew. I went to one of the ranges my shooting club frequents. We had a bunch of Easter fun. A lot of people from the shooting club showed up. We actually did not have enough room to put all the guns we brought. We had G36s, a bunch of different AKs, every flavor of AK you can imagine. Everything from AKS-74Us to AK-12s and everything in between. AKs in 223, several of them actually. ARS brought a super custom one. I'll make a video of that. I'll see if I have the time to post that video this weekend. And yeah, a lot of fun guns. I got around to try the AC Unity quad stack 60 round AK mag again, and this is like the 5th time or something. I might make a shorts video out of that because obviously it failed on me yet again. And I posted a bunch of videos of those quad stack mags, and drum mags are actually better, and that says a lot. Drum mags are usually shit, expensive shit that doesn't fit in any pouch or whatever. Quad stacks don't fit in any pouch, and they're even more shit. Yeah, so I made several videos with that AC Unity quad mag, but it's always just all of the videos have different mags. It's not the same mag, and all of them have failed on me. So there's 0 usage scenarios for those mags. You never have a need for a quad stack mag, because they do not work. And if you're doing IPSC and you're going to shoot a lot at a stage, just get a 40 round mag and a +5 mag bottom for some spares. The stages aren't that great if you really don't want to reload, so just get a 40 round mag. Yeah. And I'm a little bit tired right now. I'm not sick like I was last week, but I'm just tired. It's been a hectic week for me at work, so we'll see if I get to the range tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see. Next week I'm going to the 500 meter range. I'm not really certain about which guns to bring, but we'll figure it out. Right, so let's have a look at the news. Let's press the correct button. There we go. So Sebastian Scheiman is a lawyer who's done a lot of famous cases regarding gun rights and bullshit gun owners has to endure. So this isn't his case, but for many years the police have gotten gravel in their tiny pants when you want to buy a Tikka T3X TAC A1. It's a bolt action rifle with like a stock chassis system. Let's just DuckDuckGo this. Yeah, so here's the Tikka TAC A1. As you can see, it has adjustable stock and a pistol grip and a free-floating M-LOK handguard. So you can put your bipod on it. It's like ergonomic stuff. So you can change that to whatever AR grip you want or whatever. So the police thinks that this is super military, tactical, high-speed, low-drag, sniper rifle stuff. So you're not allowed to own this bolt-action rifle. For some stupid reason, you can't buy this, according to police. But they apparently changed their mind. So there was a new case, So Naturvårdsverket, which is the government agency regulating firearms for hunting and a hunting license and all that, on the 23rd of January this year, 2023, they put up some information on their webpage that they're going to change all these rules, remove all the bullshit regarding looks on firearms. Those only apply to semi-autos and pump actions. But the police want to believe that it also applies to regular bolt actions. Whatever. So anyway, in this case, the guy who got denied the application for TicAttack A1 referenced this news from 23rd of January. And the police actually said that, well, fuck it, you're correct. We don't have a case. And basically said to the court that it's okay, he can have it. So he won. So now, apparently you can have the TicAttack A1. Usually what you do is you buy a regular Tikka and then you buy an MDT chassis for it afterwards, because the chassis system isn't regulated at all. And the TicAttack A1 has its own proprietary magazines, and it's a little bit awkward. I don't really like the TicAttack A1, but I guess you save a little bit of money if you get it all in one package. But anyway, any PRS competitor that does long-range shooting, I know, and uses the Tikka T3X platform, they get an MDT chassis system for it. They don't get the TicAttack A1. So yeah, but that happened, which is good news. So sit and rotate on it, please. Right, so the proposition for the firearms directive has dropped. This is exactly what they are going to vote on. So I think, yeah, Pia Clarté, our Lord and Savior, commented on this. So you don't have to mark up historical firearms for collecting. You don't have to put a bunch of marks on them. That's good. And if you want to transport or store or whatever magazines, it's not regulated at all. So you don't have to store magazines in a locked container or anything. So that's good. And collectors can have large magazines, which actually the Firearms Directive does not allow, but apparently we allow that shit in Sweden, so that's good, I guess. But you're still regulated with who can own magazines. So you're going to have a firearms license to own a magazine. Which is bullshit, because that's like 1,000 different issues down the line. But if you have a rifle, you can buy whatever magazine you want for it. There's some bullshit regarding Category A and Category B firearms. We'll see how that pans out, but there is some wiggle room for the police to mess with you if you want to have like short-barreled rifles, sub-16-inch rifles, for example. I don't know exactly how that will pan out. We'll see. This one was interesting. Gun enthusiast was arrested, and he was practicing combat in built-up areas. And yeah, a lot of firearms, and he had a burning interest in firearms. It's just that it's airsoft. It's all airsoft. And the police is trying to claim that they can be loaded with real live ammunition. Airsoft rifles are just at best chinesium thin shell, and the barrels are 6mm. And no, just no, you can't. If you put a real shotgun shell in this, it doesn't even have a firing pin. It just pushes air. It has a little motor with a piston that pushes air. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't even be able to fire a live round for this. It's a plastic or tin mock-up of a real firearm. It looks like a real firearm, but it isn't a real firearm. It's like me painting a firearm on my finger and yelling pew pew and getting arrested for illegal firearms ownership or something. Yeah, so there's obviously a police officer that doesn't need to be a police officer anymore that said some really stupid shit. He's an airsofter. God damn it. Fucking retards. And the online newspaper Jaktjournalen, I think they actually have a paper newspaper as well. They used to have. Anyway, they recently discovered that the additions to the firearms law investigation, I mentioned them last week, I believe, all the motions that passed in Parliament are being put into a new investigation that's going to be done at the end of this year, late November. And one of those things are us being able to own more firearms. So we have a fixed number of firearms in different categories we are allowed to own, like 10 handguns, 6 firearms for hunting, 8 firearms for sport shooting, like rifles, and 10 for handguns. Well, practically impossible to get the police to allow you to have 10 handguns, but that's another issue. So this is in regard to firearms for hunting. So yeah, that'll happen. Removing the 5-year licensing and all that good stuff as well. We'll see. The thing is, the wording is stupid in this investigation. They say that the investigator is going to check if it's possible to introduce these new laws. If they actually was serious about this, they would have worded it how to implement these new laws. So, yeah, it's a cop-out. There's a fair chance that nothing is going to happen yet again. Fuck the moderate party, basically. So this has a really funny headline. Moose hunter is freed for a killing shot over a road. He killed a moose. He shot a moose over a dirt road in the forest, and some assholes were in the vicinity and got afraid and told them that, no, you can't shoot over a road. Well, he was freed for the shot anyway. So this is the level of bullshit you have to contend with as a hunter in Sweden. Some asshole gets scared when, like, literally all forests in Sweden in September or October is filled with hunters shooting moose. Just don't go to the forest if you're so afraid. God damn it. And so we're going to have Orwellian 1984 laws in Sweden where they can basically surveil us for whatever reason they want. The European Union is trying to put forward something like that as well, same with the UK, probably the US as well, with their anti-TikTok law is basically just we can do what we want law. And that's what we're getting in Sweden as well. But apparently crimes related to hunting is going to be exempt from this. For some reason, they can do whatever they want anyway. The Swedish police doesn't really give a shit about the law. So we'll see what happens. We're heading in a very scary direction when it comes to privacy and the government having unrestricted power to surveil you and do whatever they want. So yeah. Let's go back to the PewCam. Right, so let's see here. Who's with us? Alfred says, it's very fun to shoot a little bit with your club. Well, Alfred joined us this Pew Pew in during the day. That's awesome. I'm a bit tired, as you might hear, people. Hello, Tom Anders. You should have showed up to the shootout. We had a great time. Jan Hansen wants to know, did the MDT chassis price go up a lot? It's probably pretty expensive. Let's have a look. SCR.NU. So let's have a look at what the MDT chassis cost. So there's a bunch of different models and makes, but the MDT is basically what all competitors use, and this one, for example, is very common. I see most of the really serious competitors use this, and it's hilariously expensive, as you can see. God damn it, you can get an entire firearm for that price. try to buy them used unless you really hate money. Tom, you need to buy one of these. But I just noticed this one. This is actually really cool. So that's Tikka T3 short, charcoal, green mountain camo. This I like this. This is really nice. I thought this one was cool. But they have this carbon chassis system I felt up in IWA. Not sure if he has it here, but yeah, MDT makes great stuff anyway. So yeah. A lot of talk here about no more happy sticks for hunting PCCs, etc. As far as I can tell, you can get the happy sticks for the Ruger PC Carbine. And when I asked Sten Bergheden directly about this, the moderate parliamentarian who has been involved in this, he says you can have happy sticks for your PC Carbine basically. If you have a license for it, then it's fine. That's what I heard. It wouldn't surprise me if they fuck it up somehow. Fall Weather Friend says there were some airsoft shotguns that used fake shotgun shells with a tiny gas tank in each shell that let you load them like a real shotgun. And early models could be modified to accept real shells. Well, okay. And if it actually has a firing pin strong enough to make a shotgun shell go pew, it would probably blow up that airsoft gun. Thunderball, do you know any good 30mm rings with quick release? So there's a difference here. Rings are two pieces that you can move backwards and forward on the rail. What you want is a monolithic mount, like this big block, and you put the scope in it, and then it has a long connection towards the rail of the rifle, the Picatinny rail. Those have quick detach rings. So both Era Tactical, which I like, and Spur has that solution. So that exists. So for example, the Era Tactical and Spur, obviously you can buy from Astra Sweden. They have that if you're a Swedish guy. If you live in the rest of Europe, I'm gonna guess Era Tactical is more common. That's what the German military uses, for example. So I use Era Tactical myself, and I have quick release on all of mine. Works really well. It holds 0. Hello, Kalle. Happy Easter to you as well. Fat and bald 9-year-old. All I want to say to our politicians in charge: time to poop or get off the crapper. Yeah, pretty much. They're so full of shit. Thunderball ordered a Strasser last week. Yeah. Tom says, I will get an MDT chassis from a Tikka T3X Super Warm in 6.555 and 308. Yeah, do that. There's some really nice chassis. Just throw money at SCR until you get your dream gun. Shoot it once, own it for a week, and then sell it to someone else. As usual. For those who don't know, Tom Anders is the most gun nut of gun nuts, but he doesn't really stack them on top of each other in the safe as I do. He just keeps going through them like boxer shorts or something. R. Falk says, I asked Sten Bergheden as well. He said the same to me, yeah. But police officers and politicians don't really know what they're doing or know the law. So we'll see. Boosted says, many shooters in my club use wood stocks with good ergonomics and arc array. Looks really dope. That's what I do on my Sauer 200 SDR. So I just modified it. It's painted, of course, in that gray-black splinter camo. But I modified it with an Arca rail and cheek rail. Everything is super modified on mine. But it is wood underneath. So wood is easy to work with compared to aluminium. So you can make some nice solutions. Normal citizens says collectors will be screwed over big time. People will lose a lot of money if they pass the magazine gainers. Yeah. One of the most irritating parts about the magazine stuff is I know a lot of people in the Swedish military, and they all say that it's going to be a big headache for the military with magazines. If someone loses a mag in the forest, what are we going to do? Yeah. It's going to be bullshit. No more news regarding the Swedish military and their new firearms, but that shit will be happening during the next year, so we'll see. Ledser says it's not the first time Swedish police mistakes airsoft as real guns. Yeah. So they put up these nice pictures when they have confiscated guns, and usually it's like it's not even airsoft; it's paintball. How do you mistake a paintball gun for a real one? It's not even those Bizarro paintballs that's kind of like a mongoloid version of a real gun. It's proper paintball with a big thing on top where you have the little balls in and the tank. How do you get that to be a firearm? It's ridiculous. I've seen that. My favorite one, when I showed up in the tabloid Expressen with squirrels on my lap, is when I saw the Swedish police put up on one of their social media pages about confiscated some gun, and if you zoom into the picture, you can see on the gun that it says replica on it. They are so incompetent. It takes like 5 seconds to figure out if a gun is real or not, if you have any kind of competency in your job. Thomas sent his upcoming shopping list to me. God damn it. So he's getting Aimpoint Micro T2. Are you really gonna buy a Schmitter Bender PM2 3-20 X50 ultra short dock? Blah 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 blah. That's, if you buy that, that's like 4 of my cars or something. 4 of my car. I only have 1 car. Oh dear. Well, it's a cool sight. I looked through the short dot at the IWA fair, and it's super nice. It's an extremely nice optic, but I wouldn't pay that money for it. That's ridiculous money. Of course, Tom is going to get 2 Schmidt & Bender scopes. You're crazy, my friend. Jan says, bought my first 22 long rifle, a CZ457 and a Vortex Strike Eagle 5x25. Had a lot of fun at 50 to 300 meters. Yeah. I put up a video, was it last weekend or the weekend before, when I shot my Sauer 22 with a 22 long rifle kit in it. And it's actually super fun. 22 long rifle is so fun, especially suppressed. And it's super good practice when you shoot it over 100 meters, because then you really need to read the wind and all that good stuff to actually hit anything. At 50 meters, the 22 long rifle is like putting holes on top of each other. But after 100 meters, at like 150, 200, then wind really comes into play. Then you're really going to have to read the wind, because the little subsonic piece of lead just goes wherever it wants. So, but it's super good practice. Viking 1 is already putting bids on Tom's guns in chat. Yeah. I've said it 1,000 times and I'm gonna say it again. When you apply for a license for sport shooting, the club you're part of has to send in a little piece of paper that authenticates the need for the firearm, basically. So I have one for the rest of the club, a little PDF document that's pre-filled with all the common information about the shooting club and all that. Then I have another one for Tom with his personal information already filled in. It's too much of a hassle to do that for everyone in the shooting club, but for Tom I put in the effort because he buys shit all the time. It's not even a joke. It saves me a lot of time to have that. Right. Anything else fun that's been happening in the world? Starting to be spring now. Normal says if Naturvårdsverket does magic old school AR10 repro. Okay. So Naturvårdsverket is during this year, sometime during this year, we have these fashion rules on hunting rifles. So obviously not for sport shooting rifles, but for hunting it has to look FUD, old-timey, rifle-ish. For semi-autos, basically. So what is a semi-auto firearm? It goes pew every time you pull the trigger. And there's some other rules for hunting rifles. It has to have an 18-inch barrel. And while hunting, you can only have a 5-round magazine and a 2-round magazine for some animals, depending on what you're hunting, but mostly 5-round magazines. And then a bunch of fashion rules. So it has to look like bullshit. They're going to remove that, all of it. So you can have folding stocks, you can have telescoping stocks, you can have pistol grips, you can have whatever, which means that technically an AR-10 will be okay to hunt moose with. And as soon as they change that law, I'm getting one in 308 just to hunt moose. And I can see it in front of me. I kind of want to have a camera, a hidden camera in the police department here in Stockholm when all the applications show up for AR-10s and whatnot. A hunting license, because it's gonna be super hilarious. It's just gonna be funny. Yeah. So I already have filled my quota of firearms, so I'm not sure which one I should pick for that or get rid of. I love all my firearms on a hunting license, so we'll see which one has to go. Sad. Maybe I have to change my 4570. The lever action one. I do love it. It's super fun. I will cry if I sell it. It's my little baby. But if I can get an AR-10 instead, I'm probably gonna do it. RFR says I'm getting a Ruger S4 in that case. I don't know what that is. I need to check it out. Oop. Let's have a look what the Ruger S4 is. There we go. There's the Ruger S4. Looks like a direct impingement AR-10. That probably has a nice recoil to it. So, in my opinion, direct impingement with a little gas tube instead of the piston has a much nicer felt recoil compared to a piston rifle. I guess it's less mass going backwards, and you can probably tune it out. There was a guy at the range with an AK. You can just hold it like a limp wrist hold, that AK. It was the AK-12 one, and shoot it, and it would not move. It was perfectly still. I've never felt anything like it. Even my 22 long rifle guns has more recoil than that. Well, it looks nice, but as I said, well, this one you would have to get the 20-inch version. So what's this? 20-inch in... Yeah, so this one with a 5-round magazine, obviously, would probably be okay for hunting, unless the Swedish police fucks with you. You can obviously not hunt with this magazine, so you would have to get a 5-round magazine or restrict this one to 5 rounds or something. But it's a cool rifle. Ruger makes good shit, so it probably works fine. I'm gonna grab some more beer. You guys write some shit in chat, and I'll be right back. Right. I have beer. Don't worry, I saved the day. I have beer. I need to drink more beer, I guess, because I'm not as tired as I was when I started the stream. I'm getting a little bit more energy. I guess it's a bunch of calories in the beer or something. Let's see here. Mega Xeno says, do you know anyone who has a Canon? I have a Canon. It's like this big, so I'm not sure if it qualifies, but technically it is a Canon. So you put a little gunpowder down, like this much gunpowder down the barrel, and you put a little bit of fuse in it, and you light the fuse, and it goes poof. But technically you can have a very large cannon as well. It's called Salutkanon in Swedish. If you look at Blocket, which is Craigslist in Sweden, pretty much, you can probably find a cannon and then just buy it. You're not allowed to fire projectiles out of a cannon though, just so you know. But you can fire it just to make noise. You want to celebrate. That's what I do. Every New Year's Eve I find my tiny little cannon and I shoot it. I probably should have some old videos of me firing that little bad boy. Alfred says, I heard that a guy recently got a Zastava M76 on a hunting license. Yeah, not sure what the police did there. I think I talked to that guy. I talked to a lot of people, so I don't remember. Or maybe I dreamt that I talked to him, or just talked to someone who knows him or heard about him. But yeah, that's a rumor that's going around, and obviously the Swedish police actually did make a mistake on that, because you're not supposed to be able to get that on a hunting license. But if they actually approve the license, they can't really pull it back. Could you shoot depleted uranium shells out of an AR-10? No, because they don't know depleted uranium bullets exist for 7.62, as far as I know. And good luck finding any. And I don't think there exists a shooting range in Sweden that would allow that either. Most of them ban stuff like tracers and whatnot. Tracers especially is very good at setting shit on fire, especially in the summer when it's a little bit drier. I've seen that happen. Not even a tracer, just from sparks from shooting at a steel target. I've seen a fire that could have gone really bad happen. There can be a lot of unburnt powder at a shooting range as well, so never smoke at a shooting range either, because that unburnt powder can go up like poof, like lightning, and everything's on fire suddenly. Thunderbolt says, not to mention pissing off all the FUDs in the local hunting team with your AR-10 and a hunting license. It's going to be absolutely glorious. Yes. It's going to be super duper hilarious. Yeah, I can just see the faces on everyone on my hunting team if I show up with an AR-10. The old FUDs. All of them have a Blazer R8. Everyone except me and my father. My father has a Tikka T3X. I show up with like my lever action or my 338. But since the 338 has such a big recoil and boom, they thought it was awesome, so I got away with that one. Not even kidding. They had like a Coke can or something next to the muzzle brake, and I shot it and the Coke can just flew away. That impressed them so much that, yeah. Noble Carl. So, whatever they change rules on how hunting rifles can look like, what caliber should people get? An AR-15 in 223 or 5.56? Thinking a 5.56 is better. Just get wild. The wild chamber. W-I-L-D-E. That can take both 223 and 5.56. And I'm not sure where you're getting 5.56 from though, but yeah. So there is a difference between 223 and 5.56. 223 is probably better because that's the ammunition you're gonna find. But if you have some kind of old stash of 5.56 that you want to fire up, then get the wild chamber. Then you can fire both. Tom Anders has a question. What should I get next? Daniel Defense in 308 or an LWRC in 308 or a Sacco M10 338? Tom, don't you already have a semi-auto in 308, a Heinel? That's a piston rifle. Are you gonna sell the Heinel already? So Tom got the Heinel in 308. I think it was that. I could be talking shit. Then he sold it and then he bought the same rifle back again. Yeah, he's hilarious. I love you, Tom. Mega Sena says, I mean, if they made depleted uranium rounds for the A10, would it blow up? No, they're just hard. They're just hard. Would be like a super awesome AP round. So, but they're all already good AP rounds for regular rifles. The latest 525 by 39 is actually containing tungsten. That's very nice for AP. Fall Weather Friend wants hollow point tracers for moose hunting so you can see your shot placement as you shoot it. Yeah, that would be hilarious. I'm gonna have to agree. Maybe I have a business idea going on here. El Dudrino says, have you seen the Brandon Herrera Cursed Gun Images video? Not the latest one, but I've seen a bunch of them. Thunderball got some side-eye glances showing up with my Mossberg 590 to a skeet range a little while ago. The future is now, old man. Well, to be fair, the Mossberg 590 has been around a while. Show up with a Benelli M4 Super 90 or something next time. So for skeet competitions, in pump action is not allowed. And if you want a semi, it can only handle 2 rounds. So they have these super FUD rules for skeet shooting for competitions. Super silly. And I have a Remington 870 with a barrel that's about this long and a suppressor on it as well. I should show up with that one. That would be hilarious. Alfred says AR-10 for driven hunts would be awesome. I really hope it will happen. Yeah, that would be the ultimate pig rifle, or the ultimate any rifle. It's good. There's a reason the Swedish military is going to go with a piston AR-10 made by Sacco. It's just a good solution. Is your furniture from IKEA? No, it's not. Well, this sofa is... I think it's IKEA actually. But we modified it a little bit. But that's pretty much the only thing from IKEA in our entire household. What calibers do your hunting buddies use? 300 Winchester Magnum. And it's hilarious cleaning up the moose. So first you shoot the moose, then you take out the intestines and all that. Then you take it into your abattoir, and then you skin it. And after you skin it, you can see what the bullet actually did to the carcass. And 300 Win Mag is bullshit. So the entrance wound is, you have to cut away like this much around where the bullet hits. So much meat is lost when you use 300 Win Mag. A 6.5 by 55 is enough to kill a moose. Just use exactly what you need. Don't go overkill. you don't get a bigger penis just because you use a bigger caliber. But everyone uses 300 Win Mag in my hunting team, and it's ridiculous. There, I said it. Dragon's Breath for hunting when? Never, never. That won't ever be allowed for hunting because it's a stupid round. It's like, use it on New Year's Eve, fine. It's just fireworks. It doesn't have a practical application at all. I don't know why they made it. Well, it looks cool, I guess. It looks cool. I would love to own a couple myself just for my collection. But yeah. Or Fox says, but even an 870 will be noticed at some ranges. Well, my 870 is just pure wooden stock, like brown wood. It looks super FUD, except the barrel is this long with a suppressor on it. Mikayo says, will you be going to T-Force ELR this year? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I have already got my spot. I paid for my ticket and everything. I will be going to T-Force Extreme Long Range Competition this year. So, Mika, if you see me, say hello and have a chat with me. And another woman from my shooting club will show up this year again, together with another guy from my shooting club. And both of them got hits out to 1853 meters, I believe it was, with just regular 6.5 by 55 using Norma Diamond Line Field factory ammunition at 1,853 meters. What's that in yards? You probably have some English viewer, English speaking. 853 meters in yards. That's 2,026 and a half yards. And they got hits on target with 6.5 by 55. Stock barrels, factory ammunition, 6.5 by 55. That's just awesome. That's I'm never gonna stop telling that anecdote. Yeah, I met her today. She was at our club's shootout, and yeah, still super impressed by that. Still super impressed. Larsson says, what kind of 10-round stick are you using for the 200 SDR in 22 long rifle? That's a good question. Let's see if I can find that. I don't have it next to me. But I might be able to find it. If I search, what's his name? Goddamn, I'm drunk. I can't remember shit right now. Let's see if I can scroll back here and find it. So in the Sauer 200 SDR, when you have the 22 long rifle kit, you get 5-round magazines in it. But I found his name. There we go. But you can modify pistol magazines and use those. It was a long time ago he posted that. See if I can find. No, I can't find it. I'm lost. Whatever. But I can't really make a video about it either because modifying shit on your firearm is not allowed by YouTube. I don't actually remember what. Maybe I can find my. It's gonna take too long to find it. If you want to know what I got, send me a message on Discord and I'll try to figure it out for you when I have a little bit more time and it's not live on stream. Noble Carl says, 300 Win Mag when you want to eat as little as possible. Fat and Bald says, so less gore when using 338 Lapua Magnum and 300 Win Mag. Interesting. No, it's the same. It's pretty much the same. Except 338 Lapua Magnum is it's just ridiculous. I haven't hunted with my 338 Lapua Magnum for a long while now, to be fair. I mainly use it for extreme long range shooting. But I have hunted with it, so I never shot a moose with the 338 Lapua Magnum, but from people who have, I know that it's pretty much the same damage to the meat as a 300 Win Mag. Thunderbolt says, I ordered the Strasser in 6.555 with a heavy barrel. I'm looking forward to seeing how it performs at range. Yeah, good luck with that. Probably awesome. Nitro wants to know if the STR if it can handle long high BC bullets. It's not really about the magazine capacity. That's enough, or the overall length of the magazine for the bullets overall length. It's about rifling in the barrel. Most 6.5x55 barrels have a 1x8 threading, a 1x8 pitch of the rifling, I mean. And that can have issues with the longer bullets. So you want a 1 to 7 something. And that's what I have. And I use Sierra Match King 142 grains for those super fast, super nice, high BC bullets. And the good thing about Sierra Match King is they don't use G7, they use the regular one, but you get a BC for each speed. You get like 5 different BCs for each speed, and those line up perfectly. I have got first round hits at 1,300 meters, and it's just awesome. So be mindful of the barrel twist. The rifle itself can handle those nice bullets, but yeah, the rifle twist is the issue, depending on what barrel you have for whatever 6.5 rifle you have. Normal citizen is suffering from chronic ammo deficiency. Yeah, I can't help you with that. You chose your stupid caliber firearms yourself. You made your own hole, now you get to stand in it. SW5555 says, what would be your advice for a cheap rifle getting into long range shooting? Buy a used Sauer 200 STR in 6.5x55. That's the easiest solution. Buy a used one on Walter Boris auction, for example, or Blocket if you find it. They are worth used up to 15,000 depending on how shot out the barrel is. And a new one costs like 23,000. And then remove the diopter if it's still on. Put on a Picatinny rail on top of it. There's several different kinds you can buy. And put some Loctite on all the screws so it doesn't come loose. That's happened to me during a competition, and I just put epoxy on it after that, because I'm never going to use it for anything else. Anyway. And then get Norma Diamond Line field ammunition. It's pretty cheap for how good it is. So buy that. I buy mine from Kruttunnan. Skyttetjänst can sell you that as well. And then just get a good enough scope. And then you're in the game, basically. Make sure you can put a bipod on it as well. So yeah, it's that easy. That's the easiest way to get into the long range shooting. As I mentioned, with a stock barrel, a friend of mine in the shooting club got hits on target at 1,853 meters using that exact same setup. So yeah, that's the cheapest way to get into a really good long range shooting, very competitive rifle. That or buying a used Tikka T3X with a really long barrel. Bergara is good as well. So he asked for the cheapest one, and buying used is always cheapest. And there's always going to be a bunch of Sauer 200 STRs on the used market. So, but if you're going to buy a new one, then Tikka T3X is nice, and Bergara is also very nice. I wouldn't buy a new Sauer, but a new Tikka T3X or Bergara opens up all the chassis for you. There are chassis for the Sauer, but they are kind of expensive. To be fair, they're as expensive as the really fancy ones from MDT, and they have the same quality and standard. So there aren't as many chassis systems for the Sauer 200 as there are, but those that exist are really good, and they are worth the money. It's just that it is a lot of money. So I don't use a chassis system for mine, I just modified the original one. LPF says, I heard something about Synnerliga Skäl being removed for handguns and machine guns. If so, how easy will it be to get a machine gun? It's not gonna ever be easy to get a machine gun. Sorry, if you want cheap machine guns or easy machine guns, go to Switzerland and move there and buy them there. But hopefully they will remove. So Synnerliga Skäl is a lawyer term, basically a law term is more correct to say. That's basically forbidden, totally forbidden. You should never have this thing that requires Synnerliga Skäl to get it. And unfortunately that is what is applicable for handguns and machine guns in Sweden. And the police, it's not that hard to get a handgun in Sweden compared to a machine gun, which is ridiculous because the same thing applies to both of them. So it's totally arbitrary, and it's more about the Swedish police fucking with us than the term Synnerliga Skäl. But if they remove that from the law regarding machine guns and handguns, that's gonna make our lives much easier. So I can't tell you how easy it will be to get a machine gun if you're a collector, for example. There's probably gonna have to be some court cases won before it goes through, so that's a couple of years in the future. By the Spirit says you can also get a Macmillan stock for the 200 STR. Yeah, you could probably do that. There's like 5, 7 something different stocks for the 200 STR. Normal Citizen says, I hope you can have an easier time getting a handgun for hunting in the future. So handguns for hunting is usually just a revolver with a drum that only takes one cartridge in it, and it's only 22 long rifle. It's a stupid system, and I don't know why anyone would want it. Yeah, I'm almost out of beer, people. Any last questions in chat? Or should we all have a happy Easter? Say hello to my little bunny friend, my Easter egg. I might just sleep all day tomorrow instead of going to the shooting range. I am so behind on my sleep schedule. 917 brother wants to know if a belt fed is legal in magazine. They call it an ammunition feeding device in the law. So I guess it is. The law is so poorly written, they haven't defined what a magazine is at all. So it's so stupid, and it's gonna lead to so much bullshit down the line. I don't know. And the politicians actually said that it's up to the courts to decide what is a magazine and what isn't a magazine. And the courts will look at what's actually written in the law and all the work that led to that law. And they're gonna just go, we don't have anything to go on. What is this shit? Unfortunately, the entire legal system in Sweden, the courts, the judges, everyone, is infiltrated by left-wing activists. It's pretty much 100%. The only good thing about that is even the left wings are not anti-gun in Sweden. So even the leader of the Communist Party in Sweden, Vänsterpartiet, visited Pia Clerté on the shooting range and shot her ARs and AKs and whatnot, and had a good time, and later voted for better gun laws in Sweden. even the communists. So I'm not that worried, but we'll see what actually happens in the end. It's just that the police is against legal gun ownership in Sweden. That's the only party against legal gun ownership in Sweden. So the best case scenario after this law change is that handling licensing would actually be taken from the police and handled to someone else. Nitro says, I'm on the range tomorrow. First thing in the morning. That's good for you. That's good for you. I want some brothers. My hand is a magazine. Magazine feeding device into like oh. You're gonna have to register your hand. Normal Citizen says, reminder about the EU lead ban vote in Sweden is April 12th. That's not that far away. Shit. So, time to write your representatives. Go to regeringen.se, find whoever you fancy, just mail them and tell them to not vote for a lead ban. Kärnverksmeten says, if you go far enough left, you get your guns back. It's actually no political party that's against legal gun ownership of guns in Sweden. Not really. It's just that when the political party is in power, they have what's called regeringsdepartementet. Basically a bunch of civil servants that works for the government. And those assholes are in cahoots with the police. Like Nils Häringer, for example, is one of those guys who's handling law issues for the current government and the last government or whatever. So when politicians get all the power when they're in the government, they just don't give a shit anymore. They let the peons handle everything, and they just say spout hot air on television or whatnot. They don't really do anything. So the bureaucrats basically run the country. So the bureaucrats and the Swedish police, fuck those guys. Right, so I'm out of beer, and you guys have a happy Easter, and remember to eat a lot of candy. I have, and my tummy hates me. My stomach ulcer needs some pills. Right, whatever. You guys have a nice weekend, and go out and have fun at the shooting range. See ya.